Hello once again. My name is Seth Nikwejani and I would like to welcome you to the Haven Project Present Study with Seth. In this video, we will be discussing logic and critical thinking. We will be examining the fourth unit of logic and critical thinking. Now, the fourth unit is all about definitions, right? We already know from the subsequent videos or the previous videos that language is a system for encoding and decoding messages. Now, what does that system use to encode and decode these messages? It uses symbols, right? So this is a language that's written on this board, and the language is made up of symbols, and these symbols are what we use to encode messages, right? So once you see disputes, disputes, right? disputes, these are all symbols. This is also a symbol 1, saying that this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one. So this is how language works. Language uses symbols, and all of these symbols come together to form or to describe certain things, right? So, and the symbols disputes, pronounced dispute, is coming to describe something, right? So this symbol is describing dispute. Now, this is what we are going to talk about in depth throughout this video: definitions. So the outline for the fourth unit is simply disputes and ambiguity, definitions and their uses, the structure of definitions, definition by genus and species. Without further ado, let's begin. Disputes and ambiguity, right? So what is a dispute? A dispute is simply a disagreement. When two parties disagree, or when a group of people are in disagreement, whether about facts or beliefs or attitude, whatever it is, when they are having a disagreement, we call that what? A dispute. Now, disputes can be categorized into 3 categories, or they can be grouped into 3 or classified into 3 classes, right? So we have the first, which is obviously genuine. Now, with an obviously genuine dispute, it means that the parties involved in a dispute, or the parties that are disagreeing with each other, are doing so because they are disagreeing about something that is, the subject of their disagreement is explicit, is clear. They know why they know exactly what they're talking about. There is no linguistic misunderstanding. They genuinely disagree with each other. There's no ambiguity involved, right? So when we talk about ambiguity, ambiguity is simply talking about something that has more than one meaning, right? So if you have a dispute or have a disagreement about something that has more than one meaning, one party may be thinking of meaning A, and party B may be thinking of meaning B, and they're both. So that's where the disagreement is coming from. But with the obviously genuine dispute, the parties involved, or the parties that are disagreeing with each other, explicitly understand, and there's no ambiguity involved. They understand what each is talking about. This one understands, party A understands party B, and party B understands party A, and they disagree with each other. That's what obviously genuine dispute is all about. But merely verbal, as the name suggests, means that they don't really disagree with each other. It's simply because of the perspective that each party has taken. Or so with this type of dispute, you will realize that party A is thinking of another meaning, party B is thinking of another meaning, and they are both confusing each other, and that's why they are in disagreement. So once the ambiguity has been cleared, you realize that, oh, there was never an argument. That's why we call those types of disputes merely verbal, because there's not really an argument. It's because of the words that were used and how the words were used. That's why they disagreed, or that's why it looked like they were in disagreement. So, with the apparently verbal but merely genuine, what happens is that party A and party B have a merely verbal dispute. But once they come together and then they settle or remove the ambiguity, right? They say that, okay, no, relax. Maybe we are not understanding each other. After they understand each other, they still realize that what? They disagree. So from that state of ambiguity, they clear the ambiguity and still realize that, no, I still disagree with what you are saying. I don't agree with your facts. I don't agree with your beliefs. I don't agree with the attitude that you have towards this fact. So that's it for disputes and ambiguity. Right? Dispute simply means disagreement. They can be classified into three: obviously genuine, merely verbal, apparently verbal but merely genuine. And ambiguity simply refers to when a word or something has more than one meaning. Let's go to the next part. Yes. Now, we're going to look at the second part of the outline, right? This is talking about definitions and their uses. Before we look at the kinds of definitions, we want to discuss two things which are very important, and we use them every day in our daily language. Now, in logic and critical thinking, there are two terms that we have to learn when you are talking about definitions. That's what? The definiendum and then the definiant. What is the definiendum? The definiendum is a symbol being defined. It's a symbol being defined. Definiants are what? Symbol. So a definiant can either be a symbol or a group of symbols being used to explain the meaning of the definiendum. In layman's terms, or in a simple way, you just say that what? Definiens defines the definiendum. So let's take this board for example. This is a board, right? We have to represent this board with a symbol. That's what language is about. Language is a system of encoding and decoding messages, right? So if I want to talk about this board in a language, I will have to use certain symbols to represent this board. After I've used certain symbols or a symbol to represent this board, I also look for other symbols to explain what that symbol means. So the symbols used to represent this board is what? Board. So B-O-A-R-D, board. So board is the definiendum, the symbol being defined. And then definients, board, something we write on, would define or explain what the definiendum means. So that's why we said that definients define the definiendum. So remember, it's all about language. So when we talk about symbols, S, Y, M, B, O, L, this hyphen is just elaborating that what is connected to this, to definiendum, meaning symbol being defined. This shoulder is a symbol or group of symbols. We can also call them characters, but in logic we refer to them as what? Symbols, and they all represent something. So definiendum is representing something that we want to define, and then we use definients, other symbols, to explain the meaning of the definiendum. Yes, so let's talk about the kinds of definitions. We have 5 kinds over here that we are going to discuss. The first is stipulative definitions, second lexical. We also have precise, theoretical, and persuasive definitions. So let's get into this further. 1. Stipulative definition. Now, the stipulative definition, the definiendum or the word going to be defined is selected and then assigned a random meaning. So a stipulative definition does not report a meaning the definiendum already has. So let's take this for example. Let's imagine that you and your friends, boys, all boys, or girls, you're having a conversation, and then you find yourself in a place where other people were present, and you do not want them to understand some of the things that you are saying. So let me use boys as an example. So if boys are talking, right, and boys have going to do something, right? So maybe they went out last night, but they do not want the people they are around to know. So they are only like, Charlie, yesterday's mission went well, right? In this context, the word mission is referring to what they did last night and how well it went. So that's what mission means, right? What they did last night. So they just took the definition of mission and then assigned a random meaning to it, which was what they did last night. So with a stipulative definition, the word is selected or the definition is selected, and then random meaning is assigned to it. Stipulative definitions are neither true nor false, right? Because in that context, if I say if the boys were talking and then they were like, oh Charlie, the mission went well last night. So the mission, since they are saying a meaning to it, it's not true or false. It's accepted because they all use it. So stipulative definitions are accepted. Yes, and stipulative definitions cannot be found in a dictionary. Right? If you look in a dictionary and look up the word mission, you're not going to see what you did last night, right? You need to give another definition. Very well, which brings me to the next kind of definition, which is what lexical definitions. With lexical definitions, they are found in a dictionary, right? That's why they are called lexical. Remember, another name for the dictionary is what? Lexicon. So with lexical definitions, the meaning of the definiendum already exists, or you can say that the definiens reports a meaning the definiendum already has. So this lexicon, these lexical definitions can be found in a dictionary, and they can be either true or false. Now, if I were to look in the dictionary for the word pen, it will give me something similar to what? A writing instrument, right? If, however, I'm here and I tell you that a pen is something that we hold, then you can know that what I'm saying is false. Okay, it's partly true. So let me give another definition for pen. So as soon as I say that a pen is a cleaning instrument, right? Then if I was given a lexical definition, I said that a pen is a cleaning instrument, then I would be wrong. So what I would be saying could be or would be classified as false. So with lexical definitions, they can be either true or false. Yes. Now, stipulative definitions attempts to reduce ambiguity. When we use lexical definitions, it also reduces ambiguity. Now, you see, when we're talking about lexical definitions, even though they reduce ambiguity, they do not completely eliminate ambiguity. Because if you are talking about a pen, yes, and you are talking about the writing instrument, then we are what talking about. But if you're talking in a context where more than one pen is involved, right, then there will still be ambiguity. So how do we eliminate ambiguity completely? How do we eliminate vagueness? When we talk about vagueness, V-A-G-U-E, vagueness is referring to something not being clear. What we're talking about is vague. I don't understand. What we're talking about is not clear. Now, the definitions that eliminate ambiguity completely are precision definitions. So simply put, precision definitions are definitions that make things more precise. So with that one, if you were to be talking about a pen, then that's when you realize that we'll give details about a pen, right? Or the blue pen, the big pen, the Natarash pen, right? So these definitions will make something more precise. And if we are boys talking about something, it will help us be able to describe the exact pen that we are looking for. So that's what precising definitions do. Very good. Which brings us to the fourth, which is theoretical definitions. Right, so we've all been to basic school, we went to JHS, right? And we all did integrated science. Even in SHS, we did integrated science. So think of something like H2O, water. That's the chemical formula for water. So theoretical definitions are simply definitions that are made up as a result of expertise in the field. So if you know about something, right? Before H2O was available, no one knew that's what water was, right? But as over a period of time, people sat down and they did their experiments, and then they gained knowledge and they were able to define water. So theoretical definitions are definitions that are formed by individuals due to their immense knowledge in a field. So you know something so much, then what? Now you can define it. So you get theoretical definitions, depending on the time that they were propounded. Some of them can be found in the dictionary, but it's not really, theoretical definitions are, definitions that are backed by proof or experiment. Now, this brings us to the last part, which is what? Persuasive definition. And this is the definition mostly used by what? Politicians and then the boys on campus. So, so persuasive. That has, with this, it's not really about eliminating ambiguity. It's not really about reducing ambiguity or removing vagueness. It's all talking about, persuading someone, right? So your ability to use words to influence someone in an emotional way. So that's it for definitions and their uses. The next, I want to look at the structure of definitions. So now we look at the structure of definitions, right? The structure of definitions. When we talk about structure, then we all understand is how definitions are arranged or how definitions are formed. To form a definition, be it a stipulative definition, a precise definition, a precising definition, a theoretical definition, or a lexical definition, the fundamentals of any definition contains two things, namely intension and extension. Now, in English, English that we speak every day, when we talk about grammar, connotation simply refers to, the idea or feeling a word invokes in you. So, when you hear a word, any idea that comes to your mind, maybe you see, you're a Chelsea fan and you see the color blue, then your mind what? Chelsea. Or you see red, your mind United fan. And you. But, that's what connotation in English refers to. Any idea or feeling, a word invokes in you. Right? And denotation is simply, when you hear the word, the meaning that can be found in the dictionary. That's what denotation refers to. So, denotation is limited to the meaning of the word in the dictionary. You see, all of that is in English. This is logic and critical thinking. That is why you are using this word intention and extension. In the context of logic and critical thinking, we are going to learn that intention refers to the set of attributes shared by all and only those objects to which a general term refers. An extension, all and only those objects which possess the set of attributes a general term refers to. What does this mean? So let's break this down logically. As I was saying, then the structure of any definition is made up of two things, intension and extension. And the intention determines what? The extension. Let me break this down. The intention is simply referring to the set of attributes that all and only those objects to which a general term refers. So, when I say writing instrument, the intention of this writing instrument will simply be what? Any instrument that can be used to write. So the attribute over here that the object I'm referring to should possess is what? The ability to write. So in this context, we are looking at what? Markers, pencils, crayons, pens. I've been looking at stones, or you can use stone to write on your floor. Right? This was not specific enough, right? But the general, we're not going to get crazy, right? The general idea is that what? The set of attributes shared by all and only those objects to which a general term refers. So the general term, like what? Writing instrument, is simply an instrument used to write. So any instrument you can use to write will then be what? That's what I'm referring to. So the intention is like what? The criteria that the object must follow, or the qualities the objects must possess before this general term, this writing instrument, will refer to them. So that's what intention is. So that's the first part of the definition, right? Now, the second part of a definition structure is the extension, which is what? All and only those objects which possess the set of attributes to which a general term refers to. So, writing instrument, right? Writing instrument. So, writing instrument, an instrument you can use to write. That will be the intention. Now, the extension of writing instrument will be all the objects which refer to general, which the general term refers to, all the objects which possess the set of attributes to which the general term refers to. Now, since I can use a marker to write, a marker will belong in the extension. Since I can use a pen to write, a pen will belong in the extension. I can use a pencil to write, the pencil will belong in the extension. Crayons can be used to write, so crayons will belong in the extension of the intention. So that's the extension of this intention. That's why we see that what? The intention determines the extension. Are we following? Now, so let's take a look at a quick, a scenario or an example to understand this better. Yes, so this is the example that I want to look at. I've really tried to put it in context. So let's go over it again, right? So the structure of a definition has two things: intention and extension, right? So there is always a general term, what is being defined. Now, the intention part of what is being defined will be the set of attributes that all and only those objects, the general term refers to. So in the first example, we are saying pen, right? And the intention over there, the set of attributes that you are referring to is what? A writing instrument. So the extension will be all and only those objects who possess those attributes. So if you say pen, with the intention that what? A writing instrument, you will have what? A pen, crayon, pencil, you have a marker, feathers, they used to use feathers to write back in the day, and then chalk. But pen, the second pen has the intention of what? A non-erasable writing instrument. So something that when you write it, you cannot erase. So then we have a pen. just a pen, right? An ordinary pen, right? Some might argue that crayons cannot be erased, but let's just stay on topic. So pen. Now the third will be what? A blue colored non-erasable writing instrument. Then we're talking about a blue pen. But if you talk about pen in the fourth sense, that what? So with the intention that a blue colored writing instrument, then you can have the extension to contain objects like blue pen, blue crayon, blue color pencil, and a blue chalk. I'm sure this example has made it very easy for you to understand. So I want to look at techniques used to define intention and extension. When you are forming your intention and your extension, the techniques used. We'll start with extension. Yes, so that will be in our next video. So this is part 1. So I'll catch you in part 2, and we'll take a look at the remaining topics to be discussed under unit 4. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and please do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.